What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Uh, Today in this video, I'm just gonna talk about something other than English. I mean, of course, I'll be speaking in English, but I won't be talking anything technical about English. I won't be teaching you anything. I might be guiding you something, but not related to hardcore English. I mean, like the English rules or anything, or what can help you in becoming a better English speaker or something. Uh, now I want to share something that I kind of discovered a day or two ago. Uh, you know, Now since a while I've started watching uh, English content, English videos, or especially English videos. I'm sorry, English movies only. Currently, I'm focusing on English movies only because the English in the movies is generally harder than the English that we hear in podcasts. Because in podcasts generally the English is simpler. Why? Because in podcasts uh, they usually speak in a manner so that the masses can understand, so that most people across the globe can understand, and they don't just speak in a very friendly manner so that the other people get it very hard sometimes to understand. No, they speak for the masses, and for that purpose they speak as clearly as possible by them. Of course, still you will definitely come across certain accents and certain freestyle, or whatever unique style they carry. Yes, it happens, but generally it doesn't happen. Generally, the English is more understandable. I mean, it is easier for us to comprehend the podcast English. But in movies, what happens is that they want to show something, they want to convey something in the most original form possible, so that it targets right emotions and everything. And there is background music, and sometimes they are whispering like, I don't know what is right. So it gets really hard for at least a non-native speaker to understand, or people who have not consumed a lot of this kind of English. So this is why understanding English from movies sometimes gets harder, or sometimes gets very hard, at least for people who have not consumed a lot of English content, especially the people who have not seen a lot of English movies. A person like me or anybody who's in his or her learning phase. Of course, it's not that difficult for the native speakers, because the only type of movies they consume is English only, right? So it is very easy for them, just like it's easy for us. Like Hindi is my first language, so it is extremely easy for me to understand Hindi movies. But when it comes to English movies, and for someone who like me, who has seen a handful of movies only, uh, that too not consistently, like with some long gaps or something, and that too with not a focus or not a target of understanding everything possible, right? So for a guy like me, it gets difficult. I'm giving a lot of context. Why I'm giving a lot of context, I will come to that thing in a moment, in a minute or two. Right. So yes, I've been watching movies since almost a month or so, almost 1.5 months, you can say. Not 1.5 months, maybe a month and a week, hardly. uh, Definitely, this repetition thing will always be there, and it definitely works. That is, you just have to repeat what you are watching at least a couple of times. At least you can go for even 3 or 4 times. You must repeat what you are watching. If it is easy, if it is difficult for you to understand, in the first attempt it will be the most difficult. In the second attempt it will become easier. In the third it will become even easier, and so on. Definitely you might need to see the subtitles as well, initially, for at least first maybe 3 to 4 attempts, if it is very difficult for you to understand what they are talking about. But with more and more number of repetitions, things will start to get easier for you. uh, and it happens. This is how our brain works, right? So repetition and the novelty. Once you start to understand most of it, like at least 70 to 80% is something. If you feel like, I'm able to understand 70 to 80% even without subtitles, then it's the right time to move on to some new movie or some new English piece of content, right? That is novelty, that is newness. So newness is very much important, right? Once you feel 70 to 80% is something that I can understand even without subtitles, move on to some new content. Don't wait for 90% comprehension or 100% comprehension. No, it's not required. If it's 80%, I think you are very good to go. Move on to some new content. Even if it is 70% or approx, then also, you are pretty good to go. Move on to some new content. That's what I've been doing, and it is something that is working for me. It has worked. uh, Initially, we must try to consume content that is simple as possible for us, until unless you are quite fanatic about the fact that, you just want to watch a particular type of movie, no matter if you understand it pretty well or not, or no matter if the language is difficult or not. You can manage with subtitles and everything. Even if you have to watch that particular movie at least 3 times, 4 times, or even 5 times, you are okay with that, then of course, you can go ahead. It will definitely benefit you only. But the easy way out is, start consuming content which is easier for you, where you understand at least 70 to 80% even without subtitles, or at least with subtitles in the first attempt itself, right? So if you are able to understand 70 to 80% of the entire movie even with subtitles in the first attempt, I think it's very good to go. If it is without subtitles, I think it is even better to go. Because, if you're able to understand 70 to 80% in the first attempt even with subtitles, then in the second attempt it will automatically become at least 85 to 90% easily, right? And in the third attempt, it may get up to almost 100% in the third attempt, right? So it simply means that if you can understand the entire movie properly even with subtitles, so it simply means that even if you remove subtitles, you can still understand at least 70 to 80% of that movie even without subtitles. So now it's the right time to move on to some new movie, right? So start with as simple as possible. But there must be some challenge. Like, I heard this rule uh, a couple of days ago, that in that rule the number was like this, 90% should be comprehensible by you. uh, I mean, 90% something which you are able to understand, and 10% should be uh, something that you don't understand. Means 10% should be the difficulty level, you can say, right? uh, and I'm talking about, when you are absolutely starting. So choose as simple content as possible, where you are able to understand almost 90%, but 10% the difficulty. So as you will continue to watch, this English content, your English will start to get better and better, and you have to gradually move towards the harder and harder English movies, where again, 90%, almost 90% something that you are able to understand, and 10% is still the difficult part, because that difficult part will become easier with every repetition of watching that movie, and then you're moving to the harder ones. And again, this is how your language will get better and better and better. I know it might sound a bit technical, I know it might also sound a bit contradictory for now, because it's a kind of rule which is a bit technical, which you will be able to understand with time. And it might also happen that, I was maybe not able to explain it really well as I should have. So I get it, I understand, I respect what you are feeling and what you are going through. uh, and I will definitely try to make it even simpler by making a dedicated video on this particular thing, and as short video as possible, so that, you guys can understand it pretty well and can apply it directly in your life in order to reap the fruits of it. Okay. So now, yeah, so the thing I was talking about was that, although I have created these stories even after watching the movies, but it can work both ways. I think it can work better for the second way. I'm telling you both ways. The second way that I will subsequently tell you will work, I think, even better. So the first thing is that, the movie that I've already seen, what I did was that I went to the chat gpt and I simply asked chat gpt to give me a detailed summary of the movies that I've seen. So once it generated the entire summary, a detailed summary of the movies, then I asked ChatGPT to simply convert them into EPUB. EPUB is basically a file. It is basically, in simple terms, it's a PDF file, ebook file, which we can easily read in Amazon Kindle. So I asked ChatGPT to convert that entire detailed summary story into an EPUB, and then I transferred that EPUB into my Amazon Kindle app, which I use in my phone. I don't have any Kindle device, and I don't have any plan also of buying that. But I might buy it if I get a very good deal in maybe 1,000 or max 2,000 rupees. I think that much is the amount that I can or I will spend. Because I personally feel, no amount more than 2,000 or even at least 25,000 rupees at most 25,000 2,500 rupees, I'm sorry, is not worth. Any amount more than 2,500 rupees is not worth for Kindle. Or maybe, I'm not financially that sound. It might also be the reason, why I'm considering this amount to be very big. Okay, so now the web is transferred, and now you can read the entire detailed summary of that entire movie, so that not only it will be more interesting for you, because now you are reading about a movie that you have already seen and you were interested in. So you will be able to make more sense of the story, you'll be able to understand it more, and you will be more interested in reading that story, than reading anything that is just recommended on internet and you are not interested but still you want to read. So I think, for the non-readers, or the people who want to inculcate this habit of reading in them, I think it's a very good thing. Just simply go to chat gpt, ask for a detailed summary of any movie, be it a movie that you have already seen or be it a movie that you want to see. You can ask for the detailed summary, you can have an EPUB, put it in your Amazon Kindle, and you can read about it. So you will get to know more about that particular movie, and you can of course ask ChatGPT to create that story in simple English, in layman English, and no difficult words or anything. But I think you should not ask ChatGPT to specifically mention this thing until and unless you are an absolute beginner and you don't have any reading experience, and you feel that it might get extremely difficult for me to read. Then only you can ask ChatGPT to convert it into a simple English. Otherwise, I suggest you to not mention any specific thing, like convert it into simple English or anything. Just give the command to write that story down. Because why I'm saying this, because that simplification might filter out all the relevant words and the most appropriate words, uh, the terminology, the jargons related to that particular story or that particular, yeah, story, and that particular scenario or that particular theme. uh, because if you want to read the relevant and the specific words and terminology related to that particular theme of the story, your vocabulary won't enhance, right? You might still end up with a very basic vocabulary. There is no big harm in having a very basic vocabulary. You can still become a fluent speaker. There are so many people across the globe who speak very good English even while having a very basic vocabulary. But it's always better to have a better vocabulary. There's no harm, at least, right? If you have a better vocabulary, it's always helpful only. It's not something that will put you in any harm or put you in any sort of inferiority or anything, right? I hope you got my point, right? So just read about those movies. It will be more interesting for you. It might be a horror movie, it might be any comedy movie, or any damn thing, right? And one good thing is that those books that ChatGPT generates are very 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 small books, very short length of stories, hardly 5 or 7 pages. At max it can be 8 to 10 pages. So in short, in a precise manner, you are reading a story, and you will feel more entertaining and interested and enthusiastic. You'll be excited and you will know more about that particular movie, and it will be a very good reading habit as well for you. And once you go through the story, you will be able to understand that movie even better. And yes, one downside can be that if the movie that you have not already seen, and if you get that story out of chat gpt, you might get the spoilers already. I mean, because chat gpt is gonna give you the entire story including all the spoilers and everything, so everything will be revealed already, or everything will be revealed beforehand. I think that's a better sentence, right? And it makes more sense. I think grammatically also it's more correct, right? So everything will be revealed beforehand before watching the movie. So that can be one thing that you can be assured of, or you can be aware of. So one thing I can suggest you, that you can simply ask ChatGPT to give you the entire summary and story, but don't reveal the spoiler. Keep that keep that main information on that, or that secret, whatever is required to be a secret. Keep it hidden. You can ask ChatGPT. Right. So ChatGPT can easily do it. We all know how capable ChatGPT is, and the movies that you have already seen, those movies there is no problem, even if you get the spoiler already in the story, because you already seen those movies, right? But again, it's up to you. You can do the same for even the movies that you already seen also, that you can ask ChatGPT to not reveal the spoiler even for the movies that you already seen. Although that doesn't make any big sense, but still you can do anything. You can play around with ChatGPT as and however you want. I had nothing to talk about English technicality, I guess. Or did I say anything related to technicality of English in this video? I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I said before this movie story thing. I forgot. I forgot. Let me think for a while. What I was talking about. What I was talking about earlier, and then this English movie topic. What did we talk about? I forgot. I think I will also have to go through my video. Then only I will get to know. Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about. No problem. I think enough of me speaking. It's already more than 17 minutes in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to have one-on-one speaking conversation with me, see, you will have to speak in order to become a speaker. I could speak some English, the whatever English I'm speaking right now. It became possible only because when I started to speak, only when I started to practice speaking English on a daily basis. Trust me, if you speak consistently, even for 2 to 4 minutes on a daily basis, if you can't speak even a single sentence right now, and if you feel so damn hesitant, you will have to start with at least a minute or two, at least a minute or two. That too for daily basis, on a daily basis you will have to be consistent, right? So speak. Without speaking, your grammar might be perfect and whatnot, but the thing is that you will have to go through, right? So hello समीर, मैं आपको कॉल कर रहा हूँ, मैं आपको कॉल कर रहा हूँ, 1 मिनट दे दो बस, मैं आपको कॉल कर रहा हूँ, 1 मिनट दे दो बस. All right, I'm sorry, I got a call. Sometimes I try to speak as fluently as possible, but I think if we try something, then only the things don't go that well. It's something that I've observed multiple times, but still, okay. We all there is a saying that fake it until you make it. Uh, Fake it until you make it. Sometimes, in some scenarios, it's definitely important, but sometimes we have to just be a bit vigilant of this fact, that whether we are just trying to show something, or whether we actually are something. Uh, I think it's something that we will have to dive in properly in order to understand. Okay, so I was basically saying that if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, a one-on-one speaking conversation, speaking practice of English, definitely you can connect with me. The links I've shared in the description and in the pinned comment of this video. And nothing else. Yeah, I was talking about the speaking thing also, that you will have to practice speaking. You might be great at grammar, you might be having super vocabulary, and everything, but you might still struggle heavily while speaking English, because if you have not even tried speaking English for some decent amount of duration, it will it will be extremely difficult for you. Trust me. I've seen a lot of people who have got great grammar skills, great grammar knowledge, and even their vocabulary is so good. They read a lot, but whenever they speak, they can't speak even for a minute or two at a single stretch, right? Just because they have not practiced speaking. They already have a lot of English in their head, but they have not practiced. The coordination of their mouth with their brain is not there. That's the main thing. Enough of me speaking in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope something was of some help for you. Although I've spoken about things from multiple directions, something from here, something from there. Today, there was no agenda of a particular thing in a video, except that story thing, where I said you can generate the detailed summaries of movies that you either have already watched or you want to watch. So it might be interesting for you, and it might encourage you to read as well. It might develop some sort of reading habit or some sort of reading, and at the same time, these are stories. So stories are generally easier to read, and they are more interesting to read than self-help books. I have multiple self-help books right in front of me, and you know uh, self-help books require some good amount of time and understanding and focus. So that genre is absolutely different. Not just genre, the category is absolutely different. Stories something else, self-help is something else. Okay, these are basically courses. Self-help books are nothing but sort of courses that you take. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.